So first, in case you missed it, we're going to be recapping the major Gamescom announcements from just a few moments ago, as well as taking a closer look at the Forza Horizon 5 limited edition Xbox wireless controller and the initial drive gameplay. Then we'll take the freshly announced cover cars for a bit of a spin and debut a brand new showcase event, as well as a few more cars along the way. So, Mike and Don, that was all very, very exciting, but I think, first of all, we need to talk a bit more about the controller, because wow, what a statement. Can you tell us a little bit more about how it came to be?
Yes, so this is it. This is the Forza Horizon 5 limited edition Xbox wireless controller, to give it its full title. Yeah, so it was probably around about over 18 months ago now, wasn't it? The hardware team approached us and said they really wanted to produce a limited edition controller for Forza Horizon 5, and obviously, we were like, yes.
Absolutely.
Now, we really love how it's come together. It just brings so much vibrancy and color. It just feels like it's a little piece of the Horizon Festival that's like plopped out of the screen and landed in your lap. Loads of cool features as well. Loads of little like kind of hidden Easter eggs. Yeah, it's been great, right?
Yeah, it's been awesome, and I think integrating the stuff that we've seen in the initial drive with the powder explosions and the colors on the car, on the cargo plane and whatnot, and integrating that into the controller has been a lot of fun.
And for anyone else who maybe didn't pick up on camera, but the controller is also translucent as well, which I get really nerdy over translucent controllers. So I just want, in case anyone missed that detail, it is. And there is an additional detail as well, because it also comes with some exclusive car DLC, right?
It does. Yeah. So while we're on the translucency, it has a Forza logo inside it. And this thing down here is like brightly colored.
I actually missed that, so thank you.
There you go. Should we roll the VT on the video? Yeah, so those people who purchase the controller will also get some exclusive DLC. Part of that is the Forza Edition Ford Coupe, which is this amazing car right here. It looks absolutely a real eye catcher, just like the controller. You can see the paint job on there as well is inspired by the controller, so it will match. You can match out of the game and in the game.
Love it.
As we see here as well. Because it's got that exposed engine, it really takes advantage of all the ray trace reflections that we've got going on here in Forza Vista. You do get a couple of other things as well. You get a character cosmetic and an emote, so that when you win an event in your exclusive Forza
you can let people know you did it on the controller.
Exactly.
You can really rub it in. Now, I know we announced it on the Xbox show, but to confirm, when can people pre-order and get their hands on it?
I believe it might be up for pre-order now on the Microsoft Store. Yeah, if not now, then very, very soon. And other retailers shortly after that. But I think if you want one now, then jump over to the Microsoft Store.
Perfect. Right. Well, while you go do that, let's talk a little bit more about the initial drive gameplay, which we just saw, and is, for context, the very first gameplay players will see when they experience Forza Horizon 5. So what was that like? I imagine it's a huge deal finally showing people that part of the game.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's a part of the game that we probably spend the most time working on, those initial kind of opening 10 minutes or so. It really, we want to make a statement and set out what Forza Horizon 5 is, what it's going to offer, what great things you're going to experience over the rest of the game, but condensed down into, in that instance, an 8-minute run. So you see loads of the world, you see different cars, different driving experiences. It just gives you that real like buffet of flavors that the game will offer later on.
Yes.
Smorgasbord, yes.
Yeah, it was really a challenge to try to show as much as we wanted to show without showing everything and fitting in within the nice 8-minute time that we wanted for the initial drive.
I love it. So we're actually going to take a quick look back at the highlights of that gameplay in case you missed it. So let's take it away.
That's fine. Touchdown! Not even a scratch.
Feels so good.
And that's the start of the game. So you do your initial drive. After all the adrenaline floods through you after that, you actually then get to select your first car, which is what we are now looking at the moment. So can you talk us through the cars that we have on the smorgasbord right now and why they're here as well? Why do we go for these 3?
Our second smorgasbord in as many minutes.
I'm going to say it 5 more times. You can count.
Right, okay.
I feel like it. I just decided to add it.
Keep track in the chat if Charlie does it to you for 5 more smorgasbord.
Oh, no.
So these are the 3 cars you can choose from at the start of the game. First up is the Chevrolet C8 Corvette. The car looks absolutely stunning. The insane grip that it manages to hold means it is like a really great car to start the game, and it allows you to go super, super fast, but it basically never breaks traction. Next up, we have the Ford Bronco, one of our cover cars, basically the hottest SUV of the year, and then a car that I would say needs no introduction, but we gave it a pretty cool introduction 2 weeks ago on the previous Let's Go stream. But yes, it is the 2020 Toyota Supra GR. One interesting point about the car select in this game, in previous Horizons, we had a similar layout of cars at the start of the game, but you can only pick one. It was a bit like choosing your starter Pokemon. This time, whichever one you pick, actually all 3 get added to your garage. So whether you pick the Supra, the Bronco, or the Corvette, that is only a decision that you have to live with the consequences of for as long as you want to stay in that car, as the other ones will be in your garage and go jump into them whenever you like.
Wonderful. So we are going with the Bronco first.
Best choice if you want to go exploring.
And here we go. Letting it all soak in. This is so exciting. What a huge moment this is when you start a Forza game as well.
Bronco it is.
This is probably where I spend the most time, is just picking my license plate name. Even though I know I could change it later, it's just...
Oh, absolutely.
It still feels like it's a decision of consequence, isn't it? And Andy going with the default. He didn't force us all to sit here watching him select his name. I guess we should intro Andy.
Yeah, so for anyone wondering, you will hear an additional voice on stream today, and that is the wonderful Andy, who is going to be playing, or actually doing the gameplay today. But we decided we didn't want him on camera, so he's just sat off to the side. He looks excellent. If anyone's
you may get a sneak peek of him at some point.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, baby steps.
Yeah,
I'll work my way up to being on camera.
You'll be on the sofa next time, we promise. Okay, so we've picked the car, we've picked the license plate. We're going to our first showcase event. What is this going to be? Talk us through what we're about to drive up to.
Yeah, so we've taken part in the initial drive. We've just seen 4 separate cars drop out of the back of a cargo plane, and we thought, well, what next? Let's go race against that cargo plane. And so this is a showcase event in which we will take on that cargo plane.
Perfect. And we're also hearing some characters talking during this drive as well. Who are they? Do we recognize them? Are they new?
The voice you can hear right now is Scott Tyler, the only character to have appeared in all 5 Horizon games. He is our resident DJ on Horizon Base Arena. He's also the hype man at the festival. And in this instance, if I wasn't talking over it, you'd have heard him saying that he's just been pulled off mic. He's been dragged out of the booth for a reason that might become obvious in just a few minutes' time. We're also in Mullahay now as well, right?
Yeah, we're in Mullahay, which is this this town that's right in the middle of the living desert. Very nice, charming town. And just outside the town is some festival goers.
What are they doing here?
Yeah.
Oh. I'm really excited. I won't lie to you. There's something so exhilarating about the showcases. I cannot wait to see this. What's it like actually making a showcase, especially following the ones, for me, the ones that resonate with me the most is Forza Horizon 4. So how does that compare to making 5? I imagine there's an element of one-upping yourself, right?
Yeah, that's
how do we do 4 again, but bigger and better?
I mean, that exact sentiment applies to almost the entire game, and it is absolutely a challenge. And some people have said that we need to stop treating that as a strategy, because we will reach a point where we won't be able to one-up ourselves. But right now, we feel like that is future Playground Games' problem, and not one that we need to worry about, because I think this probably is one of our most spectacular showcases we've put together so far. Andy actually designed this, so Andy, our resident driver, who you may hear the voice of very soon, was actually the level designer who put this showcase together. So if anybody can drive it in a perfect fashion, it will be him.
That's added.
No pressure. Yeah, thanks.
It's also a new car, isn't it, Andy?
Yeah. This is Ken Block's V2 Escort Cosworth. It's an amazing car built with sort of modern rally specs in mind, with all the aerodynamics and insane grip that those cars have these days. And of course, an amazing livery.
Amazing livery, which says Forza Horizon on it as well, which is lovely. Yeah, it's not. Is it like 300 horsepower? It's not like,
Yeah, I think it's 370 horsepower.
Okay, 370. So not crazy powerful, but super lightweight, and can really move. Because it's light as well, the brakes are awesome. So even in some of the tricky driving maneuvers you'll have to pull in a minute, it is possible to slow down really fast.
Yeah, and Ken Block's Gymkhana videos are a massive inspiration for me as well.
Oh wow! What, for the
throughout
showcase
the creative
event?
process. Yeah,
Oh.
it was something that I considered when I was sort of making it. If Horizon was to make one of the Gymkhana videos, you know, what would we do? So that's the sort of the lens that I looked at. The event.
Right.
A plane becomes bikes.
Yeah. Perfect timing, right into Guanajuato,
Love
which
it.
is our main city in the game.
There's those good brakes.
And just like we've shown in previous footage, Guanajuato is like super beautiful city with undulating roads and an underground tunnel network. There's actually a mural right there by Spake, one of the mural artists, our Mexican mural artists. And yeah, I just love the color and the architecture, the Baroque and neoclassical architecture in here. There you get a shot of the Guanajuato Basilica.
One of the most iconic buildings in
Yeah.
all of Mexico.
Wow.
It's a stunning building.
Yeah.
You'd storm past it in Hoover. Look at the colours as well. I will never forget you said this to me on stream previously, of all the houses being different shades, and it's so gorgeous.
Yeah, and you can't have the same color house next to each other.
Mm-hmm. I like that they all taking their own little off routes as well. They're just sort of like coming out of nowhere.
Yeah, that's the thing about these showcase opponents. They will do anything to win. Always up to tricks, aren't they, Andy?
Yeah. You've always got to keep the player second guessing what's going next.
Oh, absolutely.
We're right up in the northern tip of the map at the moment as well.
So yeah, we'll get a glimpse of the canyon, but we'll take a closer look later.
Whoa. What happened there?
So that bike knew he was beaten. He knew he didn't have a chance. So he has switched to a wingsuit for the final stretch.
Oh, wow. Oh, very good.
He probably had us beat if he was willing to faceplant into the road there. But he had to pull his chute, and that allowed
You have to
Andy
make a
steal
choice
the
at that
win.
point, don't you? Whether you want to win or whether you want to survive the race. Oh, that was incredible. Can you give us any more hints? Obviously, the showcases are so amazing. Can you give us any hints of maybe other showcases that we've got coming up? Or, I don't know, what you're happy to say?
Well, I don't want to spoil it. We've still got so much more to talk about. We do have 4 showcases in the game. One that I am particularly excited about is the train showcase. We've had a train showcase in every Horizon game, but I think this time it really is the best train showcase we have ever done, and I'm really excited to show it off, but that is for another day.
I'm looking forward to that. So what are we going to look at next? I think we're going to start talking about some of the cars, and we're starting with one in particular, and that is the Bronco.
Yeah, we can look at the Bronco. Yeah.
Yeah?
So we drove the Bronco to the showcase. We are still in the Bronco now.
Yep.
If the guys want to pick the feedback up. So we're still playing through the start of the game, and Haley, one of our characters, has called us up and asked us to head back to the festival. And obviously, as you can see, we are still in the Bronco. Perfect car for chilling out on a nice leisurely drive like this one, but also a perfect car for heading across the desert or tearing up through the
Or
jungle.
heading towards that dust storm in the distance.
Or heading towards a dust storm. That is also a totally valid option.
And send.
Is that engulfed the festival? Is those the hot air balloons you can see just in front of
Yes, good call out actually, Charlie. So we always put those hot air balloons above the festival so that oftentimes you can't see the festival because it might be quite low lying versus your position. But whenever you see the hot air balloons, then you'll know that it's one of the festival sites and you can head over towards them. So it gives you that kind of vertical notification that there's a really cool thing you can go and explore there.
I'd be worried if I was them with this weather looming.
About to get lost in that dust storm, aren't we?
You bought a ticket for the day and you see that in the distance.
You can use
Oh,
your skill
got some
point
car
here
Andy's
to
getting a
unlock
perk.
perks. Every car has its own set, offering unique bonuses. Skill points.
And there's a very intimidating dust storm looming in the background.
Yeah.
But that is our first view of the Horizon Festival, I think. That's the first time we've shown it.
Care to take a look? My friend Carmen
So what's Hayley talking us through here then? We've just revealed something on the map.
Yes, so still at the start of the game. We've completed that showcase event, we've headed back to the festival, and now Hayley is giving us the option of taking part in one of these 2 Horizon stories.
Okay.
So the one at the bottom there with the VW badge is called Vocho, where we'll team up with Alejandra, who's one of our Mexican characters, to help her search for a lost abandoned car, which is the Beetle. The Mexican name for the Beetle is the Vocho. The camera icon is a story called El Camino, in which we will team up with a Mexican photographer called Carmen, and we'll head out, in this instance, into the storm, so into that dust storm that we could just see, and take some awesome photos inside the dust storm.
Amazing.
Both of those, though, are for another day, I think.
Oh, I
Gonna go and
see.
look at some other
We're not
stuff.
even going to do one of those. All right, then.
Another time.
So what is it we're going to jump into
So
now, then?
I think we're going to dip away.
I'm going to dip the feed. Andy's
Yep.
going to do a quick car swap, and
Yep.
then we will take a better look at the AMG ONE, I think.
The AMG. Okay, so what can you tell us about the AMG while we're waiting to get it all set up then?
So, yes, alongside the Bronco, it is our other cover car, and frankly, just one of the coolest, most hottest cars in the world right now.
Absolutely.
It's built by Mercedes-AMG. They've taken all of the incredible technology from their Formula One cars and put it into a car that is entirely road legal and looks absolutely incredible, despite basically having the performance of a Formula One car.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks incredible, doesn't it? Like
The shape of it is stunning.
the shark fin on there, which to me looks like that's there purely to show off, but Andy assures me that there are real performance benefits to it.
And there's this new icon right in the bottom right as well. What's this? Please explain what this is.
So one of the particularly awesome things about this car is if you were to purchase this car, it comes with a couple of modes. And it's quite common for performance cars to have different modes, but they don't.
Oh, sorry, mate.
They don't always. They're not always as cool as this. So on the steering wheel, there's a button that you can press which swaps you from track mode to street mode. So if Andy gives it a click. We're currently in track mode and we'll transition to street mode. So you see those fins over the wheel arch close, the spoiler dips down and the car actually raises on its suspension. So if you need to get over a speed bump or pull up into your drive, then you might put it into this mode. It also kind of smooths out some of the lines, looks a bit sleeker. The cool thing about that is you can just click that button whenever as you're driving around the world, and it really changes the performance of the car as well.
I was about to ask how you would actively use it in Forza. Actually, was there a Sunday drive version of the car versus a race mode?
That is literally what it is, to be honest.
Oh, there you go.
This probably isn't the place that car would mostly at home, smashing through this poor farmer's polytunnels, wrecking all the crops. But yeah, it kind of shows what the car can do. It's still a really powerful, awesome car, and apparently is perfectly drivable through a farm field.
And as you can tell, we're in a new biome that we haven't shown before, which is the Mexican farm field, which is, I guess, farmland is a staple of Horizon games by now. And definitely for Forza Horizon 5, we have some unique Mexican crops, which Andy will drive by. I think we saw him driving through some agave previously.
What are we going to go trash now? What's this?
So these are Mexican beans.
Oh.
Yeah, bean plants.
Have a rough harvest.
Yeah.
Randy around.
I think it's worth saying as well at this juncture that we are currently looking at Xbox Series X gameplay, but it is a development build. So if you happen to spot any weird little quirks and bugs, then that is purely because it's a
That's
development
game
build.
development for
Yeah. Hey, it might even crash. We'll hopefully.
Let's not tempt fate with that one.
More beans, and here we have some another crop, sorghum. And the cool thing with sorghum, because it's so tall and you could squash them, you could actually make some really awesome crop signs in the fields.
Leave messages for other players.
You can leave messages for other players, yeah.
And contrary to what Andy may have made you believe, there are actually roads within the farmland as well.
It's just a great car to just toot around everywhere. Just, I don't know. This looks like my go-to sort of, I'm just going to drive really fast over a hill and get somewhere car.
I think right now we'll cut away and just do a little switch.
Oh, we're on to the next car, Ari. Okay, so the next one, what's this? What are we going to be looking at?
We are going to check out the 1967 Mark I Ford Escort. So going from one of the hottest, newest cars in the world, we're going to take a look at something a little bit more of a classic motor. And there it is, the Mark I Ford Escort, an absolute icon, honestly. I think Andy's going to tell us a bit more about this one. Andy, what's cool about this?
Okay, so this is quite a fitting car because this car took part in a rally in 1970 from the UK to Mexico.
Okay.
So I guess that's sort of a Horizon 4 to 5 transition there.
Interesting lore about it.
A 16,000 mile rally across the world there, and and this car won. So it's based on Mark I Escort RS 1600, which they beefed up to handle all of the terrain that it would have to handle across the world, and it did such a fantastic job at it.
Those wheel arches are amazing, aren't they? For the time, they look really kind of modern.
Yeah, so the big bubble style rally arches. It's got on the front of it, if I try and not hit anything, the big bull bar. Sort of rough bumper on the back as well, and the little individual lights which are different to the factory car as well. So everything just to make it, as easy to fix on the road as possible.
And where is it that we're at now? This is over by the coast, isn't it?
Yeah, so we've transitioned from farmland through a little bit of jungle, and now we're actually at the tropical coast. I think we'll do another car switch right now.
Oh, wait, look at that.
Yeah.
Just as we dip the feed, we'll look at that. We'll take a look at that in a second.
Okay, so up next is another car, and this is going to be, I'm gonna say it, another Bronco.
This is this is another Bronco. There are actually 4 separate versions of the Bronco in the game. All awesome. All have their own personalities and reasons for being there. This one's a Baja one, isn't it, Andy?
Yes, that's right.
So we have obviously the Bronco Badlands is on the cover. We have the classic 1975 Bronco. We have the Bronco Ultra 4, which was actually in the initial drive as well. You kind of jump over the Porsche 911 in the jungle section. And then there's this one, which is the...
Andy, please.
Yeah.
These people are on holiday.
Better look out.
So yeah, the tropical coast is definitely one compared to the west, the rocky coast. Definitely like the ideal kind of vacation destination. The ideal visual you see when thinking of Mexico.
And as perfect postcard it does look at the moment, if you're playing in storm season, this is one of the areas that can, when the weather conditions are right, can have tropical storms, which turn it from this perfect paradise into a really kind of like intense, exciting, and visceral like storm experience.
Wow.
Which is a really cool thing to just drive through.
The idea of calling it a perfect paradise after Andy's been through.
Yeah.
I know, right?
It's ironic, isn't it?
And I guess, we'll do another
car change.
Yeah.
So many car changes here. So the next one, where are we going next? What have we got?
We have got the Ford F450 Super Duty, which is a pretty exciting car for us as well, isn't it? It's an absolutely massive truck. It's a dually as well, so it's got 4 wheels on that back axle, like two wheels side by side each side. Means it's just got like ridiculous grunt in the back. It can go over any terrain, and it's absolutely massive.
That is a big, Look at that. So what's that? I mean, to me, that tells me that's an off-road vehicle, right? I'm trying to think, like, in a very sort of way, like, what I would pick this car to do, like, cross-country or those sort of, like, off-road races, right?
I think certainly in the game, that is probably where you take it. I think in real life, you'd probably... It could also be a work truck or even an everyday truck if you're a truck person. But yeah, it's certainly it's got that Ford Tough DNA, hasn't it? So yeah, it's built for the road, built for off-road, built for doing work in it, built for chucking all your camping gear in the back or a jet ski or something.
Everyone's camping gear in the back.
Hopefully we stumble upon one of our ambient trucks or buses around the world so you can see just how big this thing is. It's insane.
It is massive.
Yeah. 6.7 litre diesel engine. It's got 1,000 foot-pound of torque, which is just
Oh.
insane. You could pull your whole house along if you wanted to.
Right, fit your house in the bed
Yeah,
on the back.
Or that, yeah.
With our little English houses.
True American vehicle.
And where is it on the map are we at the moment, Don?
So we are in Arid Hills, which is perfect to show off the off-roading and power of this F450. Yeah, we're in the Arid Hills, and the Arid Hills it's very kind of wild with these dense pockets of trees, which makes it really fun to when you're beelining across the world to kind of just dodge some trees and hit some smashable ones. So it's a very engaging experience for driving around, and obviously you see there's a bunch of undulation as well. The Arid Hills actually sits just outside of Guanajuato, so
Okay.
that's why Guanajuato is so undulating, because it's sat
Sure.
in a nest of hills.
This is one of my favourite areas for Eliminator. To grab a good off-road
Right.
car with a bit of suspension movement, and then just lurk around here. And any unsuspecting car which doesn't have that suspension movement can get eaten alive.
I love the idea of you guys just having like an afternoon where you all just set each other in the Eliminator.
That is absolutely what we do. That's Friday afternoons.
Love it. Is there any like unbeaten champions at the moment?
No, there's not anyone unbeaten. It's quite hard, I think,
Yeah.
to stay unbeaten in Eliminator when there's so many players.
And then here we're transitioning into the canyon biome.
And we haven't seen a canyon yet either on stream, have we?
No, we haven't seen it since the
that's
E3
right.
demo.
Yeah,
So it's an absolutely Andy.
Tried to park my house. Okay. Right.
Oh.
Should we switch to
Yep,
another-
we'll
Yeah.
Switch up.
So we're going to go through the canyon with another new car. And what's this one going to be?
So we saw a few Fords.
Yep.
Now we're going to check out the Porsche Macan Rally Raid. So this, as you can see, is this isn't a Macan as you would pick it up from the showroom. This is one that's been built by LP Racing, as it says on the back, who are actually kind of an aftermarket provider of motorcycle parts for like really performance motorcycles. But they also have a motorsports arm that do motorcycle racing and also endurance car racing. And this is one of the cars that they've built for. Is it for the Baja?
This is more sort of Dakar style.
Dakar,
racing,
sorry.
But, yeah, it's quite cool. It's if the Escort Mexico was the sort of 1960s version, this is the modern version of the go anywhere, endure everything racing style.
The Land Rover Defender just feeling like he can go anywhere he wants.
I think he saw you in his rearview mirror.
Yeah. I showed him how to do it.
So Don, what can you tell us about the canyons as we go through it here? It's absolutely
Yeah.
gorgeous.
Yeah, so the canyon's really all about scale and just the impressive rock cliff faces. And
That's
kind
what
of
I was
just,
thinking.
yeah, it's actually during sunset and sunrises, you get amazing sunlight. So I know for photographers, it's a great area to get some
Okay.
photography.
Yeah, because of those huge like rock cliff faces as well, it's like one of the best locations in the game to really take advantage of the ray traced audio. So if you're in a car like this and you're flying along next to this rocky wall, you can just hear the sound of your engine like bouncing off the wall and coming back at you. It really makes everything feel like you're nestled in a real place. Sneak peek of the train tracks as well.
Oh, yeah. It just looks like a really fun place to drive through. It's like, because of the hills, it doesn't tell me there's a lot of shortcuts over this area. So actually, it's the type of place where you just enjoy being on the road.
Yeah, it is right. This is one of the places where in real life you'd go there just for the drive.
Exactly.
Yeah, you weren't actually going anywhere. You just drove there, drove the roads, and then we're like, let's drive it back again.
Soak up a bit of nature.
Let's try a bit of off-road.
Yeah,
Oh, train track again.
There we go. Do you know where you're going, Andy?
Just about.
I mean, that's the great thing about the canyon. You have like a good off-road experience, plus you have a good on-road experience as
Yeah.
well, in parallel.
Let's try and get back on road again.
Oh, train track again. Don't stay there too long.
Right.
And
We're
yeah,
going to check out another car.
yeah.
Oh, yeah, we've got one more to
Yes,
go
please.
through. And this is staying in the Porsche family, this one, isn't it now?
It is, yes.
Yeah.
So that one was the Porsche Macan. That was a purpose-built racing machine. This one is a car that, it's not an everyday car, but it's one that normal people can purchase if they walked into a Porsche dealer, unlike the unlike the previous vehicles. This is the Porsche Taycan Turbo S, which is Porsche's brand new performance electric vehicle.
So actually the second electric car on the stream today as well.
Yes, so the AMG ONE is a hybrid, so it's got an electric motor. This is 100% electric, and it's frankly a fantastic car. So the way Porsche have approached this with their very first EV is they wanted to recreate the driving experience of a 911, but in an electric vehicle, and that's especially difficult because it obviously has to have a massive battery and weighs about 2.4 tons.
Wow.
And despite that pretty incredible weight, it 0 to 60s in 2.6 seconds, top speed 160. It's, I haven't had the joy of driving one, unfortunately, but apparently drives basically just like a 911, which is a fairly lightweight sports car.
Sorry.
Sorry, mate. Yeah.
It's nice to know Andy drives like me too.
Yeah, I thought I was in the UK again.
Celebrity owners include Will Smith.
Oh.
And apparently, someone told me just before we came on air, Bill Gates has one as well.
Oh, as you do.
Yeah, so perhaps not the car for everybody, but it's
But maybe your dreams can one day come true.
Exactly.
And if not, Forza Horizon 5 out in November. Play it then.
Great plug, Charlie.
Thank you.
Remembering why we're all here.
Thank you. Like that little area on the corner there.
So you've driven it, Andy. Does it do it? Did it feel like a 911?
Oh, absolutely. It's
Yeah.
incredible car.
One thing I wanted to point out here was butterflies.
Butterflies?
So actually, during a certain season in Mexico, there's a big monarch butterfly migration that happens in the canyon areas. We kind of represented that in our game as well.
This is such a stunning additional element to add, because it would only be if you go and stop here you would see that, because so many people are bombing through it all. That's so authentic. I love it. Look at them all.
Yeah, so you'll experience this in the spring season, and then it won't be there in spring, obviously, but yeah.
Lovely. I think we wanted to drop one more, because there was one more bit we wanted to show. I don't know how to set this up. What do you guys want? What are we going to do now?
So we actually revealed this car on social media last week, and we just thought it'd be cool to give it a very, very, very brief run around. So this is the Sierra RX3. It's a UTV, so super off-road vehicle, but it also is actually really high performance on asphalt as well. It can do both types of racing. Incredible suspension travel if Andy wants to give it a whirl.
But instantly spin it into a barrier. Yeah.
A lot of power going to the rear wheels only, so it's a bit of a handful. Yeah, but there's just we're heading up into the arid hills now, which again is just I think the perfect location to show some of the cool stuff that this particular car can do. As Andy decides to.
Oh, Andy.
All right, and there we go.
Amazing. But that's the very authentic Forza experience. Thank you so much, Andy. Right, well, with that, we're actually going to move over to arguably one of my favorite parts of the stream. We are now going to look at some community questions. The questions today are going to come from chat. So if you haven't typed a question into chat yet, make sure you do it now, and it might get answered on stream. The first half, are actually going to come from Twitter and your social posts, where this week you asked Dear Forza and what people wanted to know. So up first, we've got a question from Fireheart561, who asks, who's Hayley and what happened to Kira?
That can't be from Twitter, because we only just revealed who Hayley is on this.
Oh, well, that's a good they've marked that right now.
So Kira is still looking after the festival in Britain.
Okay.
She's still at the Forza Horizon 4 festival. Hayley is her good friend who is filling a similar role at the Mexico festival. So she's one of the first group of Horizon people who've arrived in Mexico to set up this new festival.
Perfect. Wonderful. I've now dawned on me that these questions are actually from chat. So if we keep that in mind going forward, we'll forget the bit I just said. The next question comes from Mink WR, who asks, I have a question. Is the game cross-play so Xbox users can join PC users?
Yes, but Steam will function the same way Forza Horizon 4 did, so it won't be cross-save, but it will be cross-play.
Perfect. Wonderful. Nice and simplistic. Right. Next question comes from Wolf Sealers, who asks, will we be able to toggle our cars as a favorite?
Yes. Yes, you will. It will function very similar to how it did in Forza Horizon 4.
Wonderful. I love that it's just like a really passionate community making sure that all of their favorite features are still there. That's essentially what this segment is. I love it. Okay, the next one comes from Oof. Thank you. Who asks, is there a moving train on the map? Yes, there is. We have mentioned it, but I don't know if you want to give some more detail while Oof is in chat about the map, about the train.
Don, do you want to take that one?
Yes, there is. There is.
I can't talk about the train.
We just saw the train track in the canyon there.
Yes.
We've also mentioned that you will race against it in the showcase event. So yes, yeah.
There is a train.
Wonderful. And the final question from chat seems to come from King Sean, who simply asks, is that a Supra?
Yes, Sean, it was a Supra. Back at the start of the stream, yes, we showed a Supra in that initial car select, and that will be added to your garage at the start of the game for everybody.
Perfect. Now, these are the questions that did actually come from social media. The first one comes from Forza Horizon 5 UK, who asks, will we get Forza Horizon stories, and if so, how many? So we've seen a couple today, but can you share any more information?
Yeah, so we saw a couple. We saw Vocho and we saw El Camino. There are several more in the game. I'm going to hold fire on that one, though, and cover that one in a later stream, I think. So yes, Horizon Stories are absolutely still an important part of the game. They're bigger and better than ever before, but I think we'll cover that off in a later stream.
Lovely. The next question comes from Rare Gliscor 1, who says, how extensive is the tunnel system under Guanajuato? And are there entrances to the city from outside through those tunnels?
So there are no entrances through those tunnels into the city, but
Okay.
it is the most extensive tunnel network in the game. It's about 2 kilometers
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, 2
of
kilometers
length.
of-
Yeah, so a lot of tunnel.
Wonderful. Scottish Pancake asks, Dear Forza, I love this question is so polite. Dear Forza, I do not know if you've answered this question before, but but what seasons will be in Forza Horizon 5? Will they be the same as Forza Horizon 4, or will there be entirely new and different seasons introduced to correlate with the new setting?
That is a thorough question, which
That
gives
is-
us little room for maneuver other than answering it directly.
If someone
really.
typed that on social media, that's the most eloquent I've ever seen someone be on
That's
social
probably
media.
2 tweets.
Yeah. Count the
Great
characters
handle
on
as
that.
well, Scottish Pancakes. So yes, seasons are still very much an important part of the game. I think we mentioned a few times about different things you can see in different seasons. We, as posed in the question, yes, we have tried to replicate the seasonality of Mexico. We have in the game, it'll still say spring, summer, autumn, winter, but then each one of them is suffixed with a line that explains what it is in that country. So autumn is storm season,
Oh, I see,
winter
okay.
is dry season, spring is hot season, and summer is wet season, which allows people from a temperate climate like us in Europe or in Canada like Don, to be like, what even are seasons in Mexico?
Yeah.
And it kind of like right out of the box it says like, winter is dry season, so you can kind of grasp straight away and kind of get a feel for what it's going to be like there. Because
Sure.
they have hardly any rainfall at all throughout the winter.
Interesting,
in
I
Mexico.
didn't know that.
Yeah, weirdly though, at the same time, at elevation they do get snow. So
We've seen that on the volcano, right?
we have, yeah, exactly. So high areas like on top of the volcano, you'll still get snow.
Yeah, I think it also helps let you know what season's next. You know, the following week. Just having
Yes, yeah,
you know,
yeah.
spring, winter, summer, autumn.
Yeah.
Wonderful. So the next question comes from Cyrus Luna, who asks, I think that might be Sirius Luna actually, will there be a drift adventure at launch?
Yes, there will, Sirius Luna. So we have. It won't be. We've changed multiplayer up a bit, so it's not online adventure anymore. It's now called the Horizon Open, and you'll be able to take on racing, games, drift, or the Eliminator as part of that. It's all been reframed to be as accessible and easy to get into, and easy to have a lot of fun in as possible.
Perfect. Love that. Next question comes from Kiesler, who asks, we know about the new brake caliper painting, but will there be other upgrades to the paint/vinyl system?
Yes. So Don, do you wanna?
Yeah, so we reworked a lot of how the vinyls and paint system works. We streamlined it a lot just to give the users and players a lot more ease of use. So yeah, a lot of improvements there.
And if you're on Series S or X, we've also massively increased the resolution of your of your car paints as well. So whereas you used to get like kind of fuzzy lines around the edges of your decals, they'll be much smoother now if you're on a Series S or X.
Brilliant. Love that. Next question. What's the leveling system like? Is it like 3 with a certain number of levels, or are we going to have a prestige-based leveling system like 4? Curious to know.
Yes, so we are going to cover the campaign in more detail on the next stream in 2 weeks' time.
Lovely.
But to answer the question more directly, the actual player leveling system is more like Forza Horizon 4's. The campaign is quite different, though, so we'll cover that off in the next stream.
One to watch if you want to come back and watch that one. Next question from asks, can you tell us more about the radio stations?
Yeah, so we actually heard a bit of music, didn't we, earlier on in the show as part of the initial drive. We heard there were actually original compositions for 3 sections of the initial drive there, from Plague Vendor in the farmland section to Luxury in the jungle section and Metric in the final section. And there's quite a few more original compositions throughout the game where we've contacted artists who typically have been a part of Horizon in the past, where we've licensed some of their music and asked them if they could create brand new pieces for us that are curated to particular gameplay experiences. In terms of the radio station more broadly, we'll go into more detail on that on a future stream, I think.
Perfect. I want to know a lot about that as well, so I'll keep you posted on that. Finally, I understand we have a question from a celebrity, our old friend Tommy Bargains, who asked, I won't do the accent, they want to know, I can't wait to enjoy Forza Horizon 5. Thank you, Tommy. I tried negotiating with Playground Games to get super early access, but they drive a hard bargain. Is there a way I can somehow feel the magic of Forza Horizon 5 in Forza Horizon 4 today?
Yes, Tommy Bargains, yes there is. That is a thing that you can do. So if you log into Forza Horizon 4 now, go over to Message Center, or at least I hope it's now, go over to Message Center and you will have received a gift. That gift is a VW Golf R, but it's not just any normal VW Golf R. This is one that has been adorned with a beautiful livery created by using some of our murals from Forza Horizon 5. So you can get a little taste of Forza Horizon 5 in Forza Horizon 4 right now. So go and get it, Tommy Bargains, I guess.
Yeah, Tommy. Well, there you have it. If you don't have Forza Horizon 4, you can actually go download it from Game Pass right now if you didn't already know. So for Tommy and everyone else who does, please keep an eye on your in-game message center to receive this beautiful mural art-inspired liveried car. And unfortunately, that is all we have time for today. So to keep up with the latest Forza Horizon 5 news, updates, and details on more Let's Go live streams by following the Forza Horizon social channels. And please stay tuned to the Forza channels tomorrow for Forza Monthly for all the latest on the Forza universe. Thanks for tuning in today. See you next time. As always, everyone, adios.
Bye.
Bye.